Oh, what's that, another Honor phone? The Chinese smartphone manufacturer is back at it with another new device, the Honor 10, which is, if you've been keeping count, the company's sixth launch in the past 6 months. The Honor 10 follows the 7A, 7C, View 10 and 9 Lite onto the field of play and, like those smartphones, it looks to be a highly competent, top-value phone. The question is, with a price that sits right at the top of the scale, at least for an Honor device, is it good enough to stand out? Read next, Honor View 10 Review. The OnePlus 5T rival now has Face Unlock. Honor 10 Review. What you need to know. So what's new? In terms of Honor's family of smartphone, you're getting new set of cameras, a smaller form factor and a notched screen. Oh, and a design that's reminiscent of the Huawei P20 and P20 Pro. That's not a bad combo. It's almost as if the Honor 10 is an ensemble of three phones, itself, the P20 and the View 10. It has a Kirin 970 processor, 128 GB of storage space and runs on Android 8.1 Oreo. But it's far from perfect as it doesn't have any waterproofing and lacks a microSD card expansion slot. Read next, Huawei P20 Review. Don't believe the camera hype. Honor 10 Review. Price and competition. The Honor 10 will be available from the official Honor store for £399. At this price, the phone faces a lot of competition. First from its sibling, the Honor View 10 at £420. Its parent company is also in the frame with the Huawei P20, which costs £500. If that's not enough choice, there's also the 64GB OnePlus 5T at £430, which is soon to be superseded by the OnePlus 6, the Samsung Galaxy S8 at £440 and the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus at £525. £419.99 Buy now. Read next, Honor 9 Review. A reasonably priced alternative to the OnePlus 5. Honor 10 Review. Design and build quality. Honor has really stepped up the design of its phones in recent times and the Honor 10 is as attractive as any of 2019's flagships. Much like the Huawei P20, the Honor 10 has a stunning pearlescent glossy glass back that bounces the light back at you in all sorts of lovely ways. Alongside the P20, the Honor 10 is easily one of the best-looking smartphones I've seen. At launch, the phone will be available in two colors, Phantom Blue, Pictured, and Glacier Gray. As for its size, the phone is slightly slimmer and lighter than the Honor View 10 and that's due to a couple of factors. First, its screen is smaller at 5.84 inches compared with the View 10's 5.99 inches. Second, the screen fills more of the front of the phone, thanks to the use of a notch-endowed display. From the get-go I've never liked the notch, it seems pointless but you can at least disable that portion of the screen through the phone's display settings. Much like the View 10, the fingerprint sensor resides at the front of the Honor 10, below the phone's display. However, this time around it's flush with the surface of the glass. The manufacturer claims it now works with wet fingers, too, but it didn't work when I tested it. Only when I removed most of the moisture from my finger did the phone unlock. As for its unlocking speed, there's more bad news as the phone is slower than its competitors, in particular the View 10. On the plus side, the Honor 10 has a 3.5mm headphone jack and has a USB Type-C port, allowing for fast charging. There's also NFC here, dual 4G SIM slots and 128GB of built-in storage. However, the phone does not have microSD storage expansion or any kind of IP-rated dust and water resistance. Red Next Best Smartphones of 2018. Our pick of the best Honor 10 review. Display. Honor 10 has a notched 5.84 inches FHD, 1080 by 2280 display with an aspect ratio of 19:9. The phone's display is no match for the Samsung Galaxy S8's 1440 by 2960 resolution, but unless you use your phone for VR you'll struggle to tell the two apart. The display can be set to one of two modes, standard or vivid. Standard mode is calibrated to the sRGB color gamut and achieves 95.7% coverage of the sRGB color gamut. In this mode, the screen is relatively accurate with an impressive average delta E of 1.66. Below 2 is generally considered excellent. The downside of standard mode is that both contrast and peak brightness are lower than in the less accurate vivid mode. The former rises from 1294 to 1 to 1444 to 1 when you go into vivid, while peak brightness sees a rise from 388 candelas per square meter to 437 candelas per square meter. If you want to be able to read your messages and emails in bright, sunny conditions, you'll need to stick with Vivid, then, which is a bit of a shame. Red Next, Huawei Mate 10 and Mate 10 Pro review. Huawei's fantastic phablet is a winner. Honor 10 review. Performance housed inside the Honor 10 is the now familiar Kirin 970 chip, the same that features in the View 10, both the Huawei P20 and P20 Pro, and the Huawei Mate 10 devices. It's a top-end chip that provides performance on a similar level to the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845, with 4 cores clocked at 2.4 GHz and the rest at 1.8 GHz. Honor also includes 4 GB of RAM, which is plenty enough for most smartphone users. Geekbench 4 benchmark for 400 pounds. This is excellent performance and, in real-world scenarios, the phone is able to cope with everything you throw at it. I also had no issues playing the latest, most intensive games, such as Gear Club or less graphically intense games such as Pokémon Go. GFX benchmark. Its battery life is somewhat mediocre, however, and in the expert reviews video rundown test its 3400 mAh battery lasted a mere 12 hours 3 minutes. That's 3 hours behind the View 10 and a fair bit behind the Samsung Galaxy S8's a near 17-hour performance. Battery life. Honor 10 review. Software. The Honor 10 ships with the latest version of Google's mobile OS, Android 8.1 Oreo, overlaid with the EMUI 8.1 launcher. This is pretty usable, doesn't affect fluidity, and provides you with a few additional features not found on stock Android phones. For example, gesture and motion control. There are a few pre-installed apps, including Instagram, Booking.com, and Asphalt Nitro, but all of these can be uninstalled. Arguably the most interesting aspect of EMUI 8.1 is Face Unlock, which works ridiculously quickly here. It's a great way to access your phone, especially with its Raise to Wake feature, and unlike the iPhone X you don't have to press another button or swipe again to get to the homepage. Just pick up the phone and your home screen is right there in front of you, pretty much instantly. Honor 10 review. Camera. Aside from the phone's design, Honor has really stepped up its camera game, too. You get 16 and 24 megapixel cameras each with an aperture of f1.8 and, as with all current Honor and Huawei dual-camera smartphones, the second, 24 megapixel camera is for black and white, monochrome, photography and adding extra detail to regular color shots. There's a LED flash, too, but the big difference between comes through the phone's AI chip. The camera analyzes the image and attempts to bring out the most out of your images based on what it thinks is in the photo. And, from my test shots below, you'll see the results are quite impressive. Honor 10 in AI mode. Honor 10 HDR AI off. The difference between the images above is remarkable, almost as if they were taken with two completely different phones. Technically, the second image, shot in HDR mode, is more color accurate. However, the first one is more eye-catching and the one I'd pick for sharing on social media. Honor 10 AI versus HDR mode. The same verdict can be drawn when comparing the Honor 10 used in AI mode with the OnePlus 5T. Honor 10 in AI mode versus OnePlus 5T with HDR enabled. Honor 10 versus OnePlus 5T with HDR enabled. There is a flip side to this. In low light, I found the AI mode ruined images with oversaturation. Skin tones look unnatural and colors are overzealous. As you'll be able to see from the images below, the stuffed bear takes on an unattractive orange appearance, the color on the paint tray are way over the top and the pen lids are similarly oversaturated. On the plus side, AI mode does marginally reduce image noise. Honor 10 low light with AI mode. Honor 10 low light. The Honor 10's front-facing camera is among one of the highest specified sensors on the market and the results reflect that. It's light years ahead of its sub 450 pounds rivals. Honor 10 selfie. Honor 10 selfie with bokeh mode enabled. This for video. The phone is capable of shooting 4K 3840 by 2160 at 24 fps, FHD 2160 by 1064, 18 to 9 at 30 fps, and Full HD 1920 by 1080 at 60 fps. A tad more interesting is the fact that the phone can record when using the H.265 or HEVC codec, which means files are much smaller than they would be if saved using H.264. Overall, the camera is impressive, but it's still no match for the Huawei P20 Pro, Pixel 2 or the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S9. Those phones are in a different league both in daylight and low light conditions. Read next. Honor 7X review. The new mid-range smartphone king with an 18:9 display. Honor 10 review. Verdict. Honor has built up quite a reputation for itself in the budget market in recent times. Although Honor 10 is anything but a budget phone, it's an excellent device that should be considered alongside the very best. The reason it isn't quite swing a 5-star review is that it misses the mark in a few key areas. Battery life isn't stellar, it lacks waterproofing and there's no microSD storage expansion. Here, I'd pick the Samsung Galaxy S8, although you might want to hang on for the OnePlus 6 instead.